Microsoft just flipped the switch on the most controversial version of Windows in 20 years. And if your computer doesn't have a specific AI chip inside it, they've basically just told you that your $2,000 rig is now a legacy machine. I'm standing my ground on this one. I am not upgrading to Windows 12 AND after you see the data I've gathered over the last few weeks. I don't think you should either. We are witnessing the birth of an operating system that is designed to serve a corporate bottom line first and the user second. It's not just a software update. It's a fundamental shift in how your hardware is allowed to function. If you've been feeling like your PC is slowly becoming less of a tool and more of a surveillance terminal, Windows 12 is the final confirmation of that trend. Stay with me, because I've been digging into the Germanium platform requirements and the deep-level telemetry integration that Microsoft isn't talking about in their keynote speeches. Let me show you exactly what's happening behind those shiny new translucent windows and why your unsupported hardware might actually be your greatest asset in 2026. To understand why I'm staying as far away from this update as possible, you have to look at what's happening under the hood of the new Germanium platform that Windows 12 is built on. For the first time in history, Microsoft isn't just asking for more RAM or a faster CPU. They are demanding a neural processing unit, or NPU, with a minimum performance of 40 TOPS. That's trillions of operations per second. This isn't just a recommended spec for high-end users. This is the new gatekeeper. According to independent analysis by hardware experts at Gamers Nexus and Tom's Hardware, this requirement effectively orphans over 80% of the PCs currently running Windows 11. If you bought a high-end gaming laptop or a workstation last year that didn't include one of the very latest AI-ready chips from Intel, AMD, or Qualcomm, Microsoft has decided your hardware is suboptimal. Think about that for a second. You have a machine that can render 4K video and play the most demanding games at 144 frames per second. But Microsoft wants you to believe it's obsolete because it can't run a background blur for your webcam using a dedicated AI core. It's manufactured obsolescence dressed up as innovation. But it gets worse when you look at what that 40 TOPS requirement is actually for. It's not for you, it's for them. In early 2026, security researchers discovered that Windows 12 uses T-NPU to run a persistent local version of Recall, a tool that takes a snapshot of your screen every few seconds to build a searchable semantic index of everything you do. They tell you it's for your convenience, so you can search your memory, but what they are really doing is building a local database of your entire digital life that is constantly being parsed by an AI model you didn't ask for. Kevin Beaumont, the cybersecurity researcher who famously critiqued the first iteration of this tech, has warned that Windows 12 takes this to a level where the OS is essentially self-aware of your workflows. Even if the data stays local, the privacy surface area this creates is a nightmare. You are essentially carrying around a complete forensic record of your passwords, bank statements, and private messages, all indexed and ready for anyone with physical or remote access to exploit. Here's the part that Microsoft's marketing team isn't putting in the shiny YouTube ads. Windows 12 isn't just an operating system, it is a gateway for a recurring revenue model that treats your local files like cloud data. We've already seen the Windows 365 push for enterprise, but with Windows 12, the consumer version is leaning heavily into hybrid computing. This means that core parts of the OS, like the file search, the photo gallery, and even the Co-Creator Paint tools, require an active Microsoft account and, increasingly, a subscription to Copilot Pro. According to internal documents leaked by Windows Central, Microsoft is exploring a tier-based OS where the basic version is ad-supported, and the premium features are locked behind a monthly fee. It's like buying a car and then finding out you have to pay a monthly subscription just to use the air conditioning. They built the cage, and they're trying to convince you it's a garden. Think of it as a digital landlord-tenant relationship. You pay for the hardware, you pay for the internet, but Microsoft wants to charge you rent for the right to use your own computer efficiently. And it gets worse when you think about the dark patterns being used to force this transition. Have you noticed how Windows 10 and 11 have become increasingly aggressive with full-screen prompts to finish setting up your device? In Windows 12, this is the baseline. The OS is designed to be always connected. If you try to set it up with a local account, the hurdles are now so high that most average users will simply give up and hand over their email address and phone number. And when I realized this, I felt a genuine sense of frustration. We're being told that this is the future of computing, but it's a future where your autonomy is traded for AI features that most of us don't even want. If you felt like your computer is no longer yours, Windows 12 is the final nail in that coffin. You are the product being sold to the AI training models. Every click, every document, every memory captured by the NPU is fuel for their next quarterly earnings report. Look, if you're feeling pressured to upgrade because of that, your PC is ready notification, I'm going to show you 3 ways to lock down your current system so you can ignore Windows 12 for the next 3 years. We aren't going to let them force us into a hardware upgrade we don't need. Option 1 is the registry freeze. This is for those of you on Windows 10 or 11 who want to stop the nagging permanently. You can set a target release version in your registry that tells Windows, I am on version 23H2, and I do not want to see anything higher than that. It takes 2 minutes. Press Windows plus R, type regedit, and navigate to HKEOS local machine and software. Alright, policies, Microsoft all Windows Update. Create a DORD called target release version and set it to 1, then set target release version info to your current version number. This effectively puts a do not disturb sign on your update service. It's $0. It takes 2 minutes and it gives you back control over when or if you ever see a Windows 12 prompt again. Option 2 is the debloat and disconnect strategy. If you're staying on Windows 10 or 11, you need to strip out the telemetry that Microsoft is using to profile you for the next upgrade. Use a tool like Chris Titus Tech's Windows Utility or O&O Shutup 10++. These are free, open source friendly tools that allow you to toggle off the experience reporting and the customer effectiveness pings that Microsoft uses to justify their AI-first updates. By disabling these, you aren't just gaining privacy, you're gaining performance. I've seen systems regain 15% of their idle CPU overhead just by killing the background telemetry that Microsoft claims is essential. Option 3 is the migration path. If Windows 12 is the final straw for you, this is the perfect time to look at Linux. OS have reached a point where they are more stable and user-friendly than the latest Windows builds. There are no NPU requirements, no recall snapshots taking photos of your desktop, and no mandatory Microsoft accounts. You can take that obsolete hardware Microsoft wants you to throw away and turn it into a lightning-fast private workstation that will last another 5 years. It's the ultimate peace of mind solution. I have to give you a mandatory disclaimer here. Staying on an older version of Windows means you must be diligent about security. While Windows 10 and 11 will continue to get security patches for a while, eventually Microsoft will pull the plug to force the migration. This guide is about privacy and performance, not about skipping security updates. You should always keep Windows Defender enabled and stay current on cumulative security updates even if you are blocking the feature updates. This is about staying on a stable, predictable platform, not about leaving your front door unlocked. We are at a crossroads where we have to decide if we actually own our computers or if we are just high-paying beta testers for a company that wants to automate our every thought. Your machine should be a tool that serves your terms, not a data mining terminal for an AI company. Windows 12 represents the most aggressive push for corporate control in the history of personal computing. By choosing not to upgrade, you aren't being behind the times. You're being a conscious consumer who values your hardware and your privacy over a shiny new taskbar. You started this video feeling like your PC was reaching its expiration date, and now you have the tools to extend its life by years. You're not unsupported just because a marketing department says so. There are millions of us choosing to stay on stable, local-first environments, because we know that the AI revolution shouldn't come at the cost of our digital dignity. You are the admin of your own machine. Don't let an Update Now button take that away from you. If this deep dive helped you decide to skip the Windows 12 trap, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next update. I cover these transitions the moment the first forced update scripts are detected, ensuring you stay in control of your system. Drop a comment and let me know. Is your hardware Windows 12 ready? And does that actually make you want to upgrade or run the other way? I read every single one. And if you've already made the switch to an alternative or locked down your system, share your experience below. It might be the push someone else needs to stay free, stay skeptical, stay secure,